The East is once again alive with war. Hey, how's it going? My name is Jackie Fish and we are back beneath the pyramids for another awesome pitched battle as the Eastern Alliance of the Seleucids, Pontus, and I believe Egypt, but I'm not actually too sure on that one. We'll take a look out. But oh yeah, we have Pontus, the Seleucids, and Kush. So the Kingdom of Kush have come out to play with some of their really strong units. They're going to be going up against two Roman forces and an army from Parthia. So the Romans are going to be using the Parthians to, I guess, support them with them cataphracts, elephants, and kind of an Eastern Greek hoplite unit, which will be very powerful in the front lines. So as you can see, this battle is going to be a crazy one. The Romans going up against the Greeks and Kush, and obviously Kush are very good against the Romans because they have a lot of armor piercing units in these guys right here with their kind of like curved blades which do a ton of damage. So they'll quite, not easily, but they'll effectively cut through the Roman lines in this battle and yeah, make a kind of a good opponent for them. We do have some noble horse archers kicking off this battle though with a volley or two. Some of the Parthians obviously using their fabled tactic, which is so well known, just harassing, trying to take down a bit of damage, but actually taking a couple javelins into their back, and that's not a good way to kick off this battle. That's going to severely weaken the firepower of these horses. Obviously, every horse that goes down means one less arrow firing at the enemy, so you really want to try and keep these guys alive for as long as possible. For the overall feel of the battlefield, you can see that the Romans and the Parthians have set up in the center here with kind of a curved battle line, as we do have Pontus and I think some of the Seleucid men heavily going around this flank looking to try and exploit the right hand side here, whereas Kush and the forces of the Seleucids, main body of their army at least, are going to be holding in the center, and it seems like the Kingdom of Kush have managed to get a great charge off on this noble blood cavalry, and that is awful for the Parthians to lose a valuable horse unit like this. It isn't like a cataphract unit for Parthians, but it's still a valuable unit of horse, and generally in these battles players do tend to have, you know, limits on how much cavalry you can bring in the battle. So Kush finding this kind of catch is huge, and I guess the Parthian player must just have been microing over on this side of the battlefield with his horse archers and just didn't see around this one. The Romans are going to be throwing forward some of their auxiliary cavalry with their flaming javelins. I don't quite understand how the horses can set ablaze the javelins and throw them, but either way, they're going to be trying to get some damage off here. And it's really cool to see just more like units being brought to the battlefield than just, you know, the Praetorian cavalry or whatever. The players are, you know, kind of varying up and bringing some less meta units, but it's really fun to see how they are being used in this battlefield. This Numidian cavalry as well needs to be very careful because, yeah, you have Pontic cavalry, you have Seleucid cavalry, and obviously the Kush Royal Guard horse as well, going to be scaring them off. Pontus, though, are going to be seizing up on this opportunity and being very aggressive. They're going to be holding back their javelin men for now, but they're pushing heavily around this left-hand side, and they need to be very careful with this cavalry. A good old charge there into the Praetorian Guard, which is huge. They need to get the hell out of there now, though, before the Romans do countercharge with their Praetorian cavalry. You've also got some Triarii as well moving up, and it does seem like this cavalry charge is going to go off by the legionaries, pinning down the Pontic cavalry, and they need to pull out of there. I mean, in a straight-up engagement, I assume the Pontic cavalry win, but this is Praetorian horse, so they'll be able to put up a very good fight. They just need to stop themselves from getting segregated. And obviously, if this Triarii does find its way around to support the Praetorian cavalry, that would be pretty bad. But here we go, a big push off. We've got some cavalry charges in the center running through onto these legionary cohorts. However, they are taking a lot of missile fire from the Balearic and the elite Persian archers. Going to be pinning down some of these horses and whittling down their numbers. However, we do now have a lot of javelins coming in. I don't think these guys are in Testudo, but they might be. The animation might just be bogged. I'm not too sure if they are in Testudo. I mean, it doesn't look like it. So these guys are going to be taking a lot of fire. And we have some chariots as well, but the chariots are just getting pinned down by missile fire and, yeah, cut down. Unfortunately, the chariots with that peeler throw just could not be effective. And the Roman battle line on this side is fully diving in. The other two opponents, though, haven't really engaged yet. I guess they're going to be waiting to see what goes down here. It wouldn't be a bad idea for at least the Seleucids to advance forward to get a little bit closer But right now, we're getting a big engagement here, and it seems like the Romans are just going to completely wrap up this flank. They're obviously playing very defensive, which is, you know, super effective. And losing that cavalry fight, you know, but now it's going to get completely overrun, and their javelins are going to get charged down. I'm really surprised we're not seeing any of this Kush cavalry come over to support. I kind of feel like that's exactly why this Kush cavalry is here, so that it can make its way over here and help out in this battle. The Seleucids are finally going to start advancing forward and, you know, getting closer and closer. The Romans are having some kind of, you know, skirmishing moves up here on the flank, trying to outmaneuver the Kushian kingdom. And with the Seleucids advancing forward, that's going to be great. And finally, the Seleucids are moving up. I mean, I guess sometimes, you know, in these battles, I'm not sure if these players were on mic together. So sometimes it is very hard to, like, encourage your teammates to help you if they're focused on their side of the battlefield. We also have some of them armored elephants making their way in as well, which I'm excited to see. Hopefully we'll be seeing this, you know, Seleucid charge coming in very soon, just to help clean up this flank and deal with the Roman cavalry. The Romans seem like they have completely cut off the retreat for these Pontic royal horse as well, so that's going to be pretty useful for them. And now the Triarii are going to be making their way around. We're getting an envelopment. Oh no, the Pontic swordsmen have been enveloped, completely surrounded, and now cut down by the Praetorian Guard. Yeah, look at that. The master swordsmen are dealing a killing blow to this unit. Somehow as well, the Pontic pikes have managed to make their way weirdly through this position. I'm not quite sure how it happened, but either way, we're getting cavalry. The Romans are in a full-on retreat. They're going to be retreating through the pikemen. It's going to leave them vulnerable. If the Seleucid cavalry can find their mark here, they can quite easily trap this, and that's exactly what the Seleucid infantry are doing. These heavy spearmen are going to be completely surrounding the Praetorian cavalry and bringing them down, which again is a great strategy to do. As well as that, we are having the Syrian heavy archers. I love this unit of bowmen. They're going to be pinning down the Parthian archers and just really helping out, you know, nullifying this, because even though these are elite Persian archers, they're very lightly armored, so they're very susceptible to the missile fire coming in and bringing them down. So you're going to be seeing a lot of that missile fire kind of dominating the battlefield for a while, and taking away the Persian missile force is very, very valuable. Somehow we're still getting a big old engagement over here. The Praetorian cavalry is just roaming around the battlefield, and Kush are just playing very defensive. It seems like there's been some skirmishes out here between cavalry and infantry, but for the most part, Kush have secured this hill for them, which is going to be a great defense. And they're just playing a very, very open battlefield, you know, several detachments of infantry, but for the most part, they're just trying to keep this Roman force, you know, steady and at bay. Now the Seleucids and the Kingdom of Kush have finally advanced. This is what we wanted to see the entire time. An elite force of, you know, cavalry coming together, uniting their, you know, armies and working together. However, as you can see, the Triarii in the distance are closing that distance, and sooner rather than later, they're going to be in this battle. And if the Greeks aren't careful, they're going to be, you know, quickly outmatched by these spearmen, who are obviously designed to be duking it out with the cavalry. But the Romans are almost gone, and as soon as this Roman unit does go, all this cavalry can just disperse. We're getting a big old charge in right here, and I think this is maybe one of the strategies that, you know, came to the left flank attacking so quickly, is because if the left flank attacks so quickly, it basically uses a lot of the ammunition, the javelins, and the archer fire on the, obviously, the attacking force here on Pontus. So then that allows the elephants to come in and just run amok like they're doing right now. They've ripped through this one cohort unit, and they're continuing to go, and there's not a lot of javelins or missiles to really try and bring them elephants down. And if you're smart with them, I think like this Seleucid player is, he's run them in, he's done his damage, and now he's pulling out of them. As the missile fire starts to turn on him, he's bringing these elephants out of there. A few have been stuck, but I don't think he lost a single elephant in that charge unless some go down here. And he did, what, how much damage? We can take a look at that. Over 250 kills on the elephants, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. Oh, and look at that, the Kingdom of Kush managed to get their cavalry through onto the javelins and the Balearic slingers. That's really good. Balearic slingers are amazing, so getting your cavalry on that is huge, and if you can kill them, that's even bigger. And it doesn't look like the Romans have much cavalry besides the auxiliary Numidian cavalry. They don't really have much to silence it, and Parthia are going to have to come over and try and help out there. And now look at that as well. More of the Parthian war elephants are coming in now. But luckily, the archers are immediately on it. The Kushian archers, which are very good with longbows, immediately setting these guys down. And that's how you deal with the elephants. So, like, I love the elephant play on both sides. The Seleucids use their force so well. And because they're armored, they can sustain a lot more fire. They're a lot more cautious at, you know, kind of sticking around. Because these are the Indian armored elephants, whereas the Parthian ones are just simply kind of loosely armored ones. So they go down a lot quicker. You kind of have to really use these guys carefully. Whereas you can be a bit more cocky with the elephants here. And again, this is just such nice elephant play. They are obviously fighting against spearmen, which is going to be a bit, you know, effective. Spearmen basically have anti-large if you're like a Warhammer fan. But still, there's no missiles to stop them. The elephants are constantly on the move. They're constantly rampaging and, you know, charging down and just doing a lot of good damage. A nice move here by the auxiliary cavalry, pinning down a large portion of the bronze pikemen. We also have the Kushian swordsman or cavalry swordsman now being taken down by the royal cataphracts of the Parthian army, the Parthian general even getting stuck in there, and the rest of the Roman infantry now making its way in. The flank is still holding firm, but we are getting a very nice position here as some of the Kush armored infantry actually managed to get around the side here and help break some of these Parthian eastern spearmen, which don't have great morale. And just that's a nice little outflank that's been created like that. The Romans are going to preemptively on this left flank start to rotate, but this big focus over on this side has been really, really effective. Even though Pontus has been kind of, you know, beaten and battered, they've kind of done their job right. I feel like the center is going very much in the favor, especially with these charges as well, of the Greeks. And, you know, gaps are appearing which can be used very effectively to break these Roman lines. I mean, look at that. They have pikes and they have hoplites, with more men coming around, a lot of missile fire. They're going to have to quickly reform a battle line because the Romans are going to quite quickly come in. But again, look at these elephants. I love seeing good elephant play. Up to 500 kills without losing a single elephant. They're just using them very well, you know, avoiding deploying them. And, you know, like, units don't have a lot of ammunition in Rome too. So you can quickly, you know, run out of ammunition and then you have nothing to really kill the elephants with. So a very nice move here, and I think Parthia are going to be... Oh, that javelin throw is very nice, though, off into the pikemen, because these aren't like Greek pikes. Oh, that's a brutal volley again. So these pikes are a lot shorter than the Greek counterparts, so that, you know, infantry can get into them and, you know, break their way through the pike wall very effectively. Luckily, the Kush player is playing this smart, though. He's supporting his unit with some infantry, so the pikes can kind of keep him at bay, at range, and then the sword infantry can come in and just protect the pikes. So a smart move there. We also see in the distance some of the Seleucid cavalry moving around that flank very, very effectively on a big rally, I think, being fired off there. We do have the Romans coming around here, though. They need to be very careful as the Seleucid cavalry, you know, these cataphracts are a little bit depleted, but so is the Roman force, in fairness. And the elephants are going to come in here, and elephants are very good at defeating cavalry. Cavalry don't really have an effective way of dealing with the elephants because, you know, they're not like heavy spears that can kind of hold a battle line and keep the elephants back. They don't really have any javelins to throw at them. So this would be the perfect opportunity for the auxiliary Numidian horses to come in. But I think they're deployed out over on this part of the battlefield, yeah, fighting the Kush cavalry. So, you know, yeah, the elephants are going to, again, continue to rout a large portion of the force. And, yeah, the Romans are made to retreat back this Praetorian cavalry. And will seem like a pretty dominant cavalry push has now been put down once again by the armored elephants being used so effectively. The Romans have now advanced forward and they're doing a very smart move, obviously. They've stopped just inches away from this position and they're using their darts and peeler just to demolish this unit of Kush pikemen. They're taking some fire back from the Kush swordsmen, but still, yeah, they've broken through this Kush pikemen. This is such a good strategy right here because it's going to allow the Romans just to break through here very easily. And once they find a gap, obviously they can then use their line to rotate around and envelop the rest of the Kush army. Parthians seeming like they are getting outmaneuvered here, but in the center of the battlefield. You know, they're finding a lot of these envelopments and breaking away their formation. We're also getting a lot of archer fire off here on the Parthian Royal Cataphracts, bringing them back. And it seems like what looked like a devastating Roman push on this right flank has kind of had the wind knocked out of it, and we're seeing all of a sudden the forces in the center holding firm. Pontus was a noble sacrifice in this battle, and it's allowed the Seleucids and Kush to really drive home that advantage in the center, breaking Parthia, and then quite quickly taking care of the Seleucid forces the Roman forces on this right hand side. The elephants are just being used really effectively, and that's why I like to see the elephants being deployed later in the battle as well, because as I said, ammunition is a lot scarcer towards the end of the battle. But not only that, players are so like drawn into the battle that they just can't manage everything, and that allows you to kind of exploit that fact that the person's so busy looking at everything else they can miss these elephant charges. Their men are like, a lot of their infantry and archers are already committed elsewhere, so when the elephants come in, you choose that place for the elephants to come in, and they're just so effective because right now there's nothing over here to help kill these elephants, and the Romans are in a full-on retreat right now, getting completely overrun with Triarii, not standing a chance here, and soon to be enveloped, I think, by these swordsmen. And that's all the Roman cavalry killed on that flank. The Romans have made a very nice push here, and oh, look at that good charge there, the Praetorian cavalry catching the pikemen off guard as their pikes weren't down. And the Romans are just looking to hammerhead through this one position right now. If they can break through this gap, then maybe they stand a chance, but advanced power is looking not so good for them right now. And I think once these elephants have cleared up the Praetorian Guard, which they have, they'll quite quickly come round here and hit these dudes effectively. The last of Praetorian Guard going in to try and salvage anything they can. I just think it's a little bit too late now. And just their sturdy line of the Greeks proving its worth. And as I said, it's always great to see elephants used effectively, and obviously they were used very effectively this day. The Romans aren't out of this battle quite yet though. They are still picking up a valiant fight against Kush on this flank. But Kush are managing to surround them, even though they are, Romans are doing a smart move and retreating. They're being hounded the entire way. These Persian/Greek pike or hoplites chasing down the Triarii, killing their men as they try and flee. And I think quite quickly we are going to see this battle run down. We'll just triple speed for a little bit as these forces get over here. Go back onto normal speed now. As you can see, this flank has been completely wrapped up now. The elephants just doing so much damage there. Just roaming forward, I mean. They are not to be messed with whatsoever. That is the true power of the elephants. Look at that guy. He's like screaming up there. That looks awesome. That looks really, really cool. And all of a sudden, this entire flank is going to come wrapping around. And what the hell happened to the Roman army just now? They were here, and then I took a screenshot, and they weren't here anymore. I guess they just must have mass routed. Now that's brutal, and I think it's going to be the battle. Yeah, the Romans just end up mass routing here. We do have the brave Roman general, the Legatus. Is he going to fall on his sword, or is he going to run away? I think he might be running away to the edge of the map, which is kind of cool to see. He's just given up. I think he might be fleeing. Oh no, is he going to be going for one last epic charge? I'm not actually too sure, but there we go. That's going to be the battle. Besides this general, who I think is fleeing for his life right now, trying to escape to the pyramids. But the Greeks are going to chase him down and bring him out. Yeah, there you go. He's just going to rout. As soon as he sees the Cataphracts coming towards him, he's like, I'm out of here. So a very awesome battle going down pretty close to the wire. And once again, look at them elephant kills. 606 kills on them bad boys. It's just beautiful to see. A pretty bloody battle, though. A lot of these units, like the entire Kush army got smashed. A large portion of the Seleucid army getting hit, and the Pontus army just being eradicated. And obviously on the Roman side of things, you can see their units getting beaten up pretty badly. If you guys enjoyed these large-scale 3 vs 3 online battles, make sure to drop a like and a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.